I've spent most of my life trying not to be noticed, and that's not because I'm shy, it's more because I generally thought if people looked too closely, they would see everything that was wrong with me. I was born with a cleft lip and palate, and from as long as I can remember, I knew I looked different. That's not because I had anyone to tell me that. I could see it myself in photos, mirrors, and when people would look at me for too long. I wasn't the kid that got bullied every day. It was much quieter than that. It was the feeling of walking into a room and wondering what were people thinking, shrinking myself before anyone else could. I got really good at being in the background, not drawing any attention, because attention felt dangerous. The problem with making yourself invisible is that you eventually believe that you should be. I avoided situations where I might stand out, conversations that I might be the centre of attention, and talk myself out of opportunities before other people had the chance to. Not because I wasn't capable, but somewhere along the line I decided that someone who looked like me didn't get to take up too much space. And that belief followed me for years. I don't know exactly what made me walk into a gym for the first time. Maybe it was a sense of wanting to change how I feel, build my confidence. But I do know exactly how it felt. Completely out of place, convinced that people were looking at me, having that feeling of not belonging. But then I went back, and then back again, and then something strange started happening. And for the first time in my life, I was doing something purely for myself. Not to fit in, not to be accepted, but just to be better. And every time I showed up, and every time I didn't want to go, I proved something to myself. That I was capable, and that I could do the hard things. That the version of me hiding in the background his whole life wasn't the only version available. The gym didn't just change my body, it changed the story I was telling myself about who I was. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I've got it all figured out. Some days the old version of me still shows up, still second guesses, and still wonders if he belongs. But here's what's different now. I started a YouTube channel. I put my face on the internet. I talk about things I spent years too scared to say out loud. The kid that chose not to be noticed is now actively choosing to be seen. And that's not because everything is fixed, it's because I finally decided that my story is worth telling. Cleft lip and all. The thing that I spent years being ashamed of is now the thing that connects me to people. The thing that makes someone watching this feel less alone. And that's worth any amount of staying invisible. If you're watching this and you've ever felt different or invisible, this is for you. Whatever your cleft lip is, whatever the thing is that made you feel like you don't belong, it doesn't have to define how small you live. I spent years hiding mine, and now I talk about it on the internet. And I've never felt more like myself. If you're someone that's on a similar journey, whether that's building confidence or trying to figure yourself out, and take up just a little bit more space in the world, subscribe. We're doing this together.